On the 26th of November 1922, a British archaeologist named Howard Carter made a small hole in a sealed ancient door deep inside the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. His sponsor, Lord Carnarvon, stood behind him and asked, "Can you see anything?" Carter pressed his face against the hole, held his candle forward, and whispered back, "Yes, wonderful things." What they found inside that room that day would make them the most famous archaeologists in human history. It would also kill them, one by one, in ways that science still cannot fully explain. This is Global Buzz, and this is the true story of the curse of Tutankhamun. Howard Carter had been digging in Egypt for 31 years. 31 years of sand, heat, empty tombs, broken promises. His sponsor, Lord Carnarvon, had almost pulled his funding completely. "One more season," he said. "Then we stop." On the very first day of that final season, Carter's team found a stone step buried under ancient rubble. Then another. Then another. 16 steps leading down into the earth. At the bottom, a sealed door, untouched for 3,245 years. Behind it, the most intact royal tomb ever discovered in human history. Gold, everywhere. Statues, jewels, chariots, furniture, weapons, and at the center of it all, a golden coffin. Inside that coffin, another coffin. Inside that, another. And inside the third, the mummified body of a teenage king who had been dead since 1323 BC. Tutankhamun, King Tut, the boy pharaoh. The world went absolutely mad. Newspapers across the globe called it the greatest discovery in human history. But someone had left a message on the tomb wall that nobody wanted to read. Death will come on swift wings to whoever disturbs the peace of the king. Lord Carnarvon never made it home. 4 months after opening the tomb, he developed a fever in Cairo. Within days, it spread to pneumonia. On the 5th of April 1923, less than 5 months after the discovery, Lord Carnarvon was dead. He was 57 years old. Witnesses reported something strange at the exact moment of his death. Every light in Cairo went out simultaneously. The city was plunged into complete darkness. Nobody could explain why. Back in England, Carnarvon's dog let out a howl at the exact same moment and dropped dead. The newspapers went into a frenzy. The curse of the pharaoh, they screamed. But it was only beginning. Within weeks of the tomb opening, Arthur Mace, one of Carter's lead archaeologists, collapsed with exhaustion and never recovered. Dead. George Gould, an American financier who visited the tomb, developed a fever the next day. Dead within months. Prince Ali Kamel Fahmy Bey of Egypt visited the tomb. Shot dead by his own wife 2 months later. Colonel Aubrey Herbert Carnarvon's half-brother visited the tomb. Went blind and died months later. Sir Archibald Douglas Reed, the radiologist who x-rayed Tutankhamun's mummy, fell mysteriously ill, dead within days. Arthur Weigel, journalist who covered the opening, dead within 6 years. Hugh Evelyn White, archaeologist who excavated the site, took his own life. Left a note written in his own blood that said, "I have succumbed to a curse." By 1929, 11 people directly connected to the opening of the tomb were dead. By 1935, the number had reached 21. Scientists and skeptics have spent 100 years trying to explain this away. The most credible theory: ancient biological warfare. Egyptian priests who sealed royal tombs were not stupid. They understood that anyone who broke in would be breathing the same air sealed inside for thousands of years. So some researchers believe they deliberately introduced toxic mold spores into the tomb before sealing it. Aspergillus niger, Aspergillus flavus, deadly fungi that can survive thousands of years in sealed environments. When Carter's team broke the seal, they inhaled directly. In 1999, a microbiologist named Gotthard Kramer analyzed 40 Egyptian mummies and found significant concentrations of dangerous mold on all of them. Mold that could cause respiratory failure, fever, and death, especially in people with weak immune systems. Lord Carnarvon had notoriously poor health before he ever set foot in Egypt. A second theory points to radioactive deposits. Some Egyptian tombs have been found to contain traces of low-level radioactive materials naturally occurring in the rock. Long-term exposure during excavation could cause organ failure and cancer. A third theory is simply coincidence. Howard Carter himself, the man who spent more time in that tomb than anyone lived until 1939, 17 years after opening the tomb. He died peacefully at 64. No curse, no fever, no mysterious lights, just old age. So was it a curse? Was it ancient biological warfare deliberately engineered by Egyptian priests? Was it radioactive rock slowly poisoning everyone who entered? Or was it simply the way the human mind finds patterns in tragedy? 100 years later, nobody has a definitive answer. But here is what we know for certain. 21 people connected to the opening of that tomb died under circumstances that have never been fully explained. A teenage king who died over 3,000 years ago managed to reach out from his golden coffin and touch every single one of them. Whether you believe in curses or not, that is extraordinary. Tutankhamun rested in peace for 3,245 years. He was found by two men chasing glory and gold. And the ancient world sent them a message that still echoes today. Some doors are sealed for a reason. This is Global Buzz. If this story gave you chills, subscribe right now because we have stories that will make this one look tame. Drop a comment. Do you believe the curse was real, or does science explain it all away? I read every single one. Share this with someone who thinks ancient history is boring. Because history is never boring. It is just waiting to be told.